Today, we talk about how you can compete with 20-year-old founders that can work endless hours, have no kids, no mortgage, and no fear, and already make millions within months. I'm 41 years old, and 2 years ago, I lost 1.5 million per year with zero growth, and I just wanted to close my company. Look, as a founder over 30, with a struggling business, a demanding partner, kids, in the age of AI, it is impossible to win. Almost. I've made $61,178,646.01 as of this morning with a 7-figure profit. And we became one of America's fastest growing companies. I'm Matthias, and I help founders to grow their businesses to a $100 million valuation profitably. So you might ask yourself, what are the real reasons that turned my 7-figure burn into a 7-figure profit? And I identified 5 core mistakes that I made. If you solve these, you will win and your business will grow profitably immediately. So in this video, I'm going to break down all 5 of them, and I will share the exact rules along with tactical examples that help me fix them and build my profitable 8-figure business. So let's go. Mistake number 1, you stay in your comfort zone. So for this, think about your comfort zone. Inside it, everything is comfortable, nothing changes, right? Outside of it is the zone of discomfort because it's outside the comfort zone. So everything you want is waiting outside your comfort zone. And the border is anxiety. So your biggest area of discomfort is the biggest area to expand your comfort zone and therefore your confidence. So let me tell you a story. So when I first posted, I felt like a clown. Why? Because 40 years old, CEO of a $60 million business, writing LinkedIn posts like complete idiot. And I imagine my colleagues talking to each other. It's like, what the fuck is he doing? Has he lost it? Doesn't he have anything better to do? Every post felt humiliating. But every time I stepped into that discomfort, I got a little stronger. No likes, no engagement, no traction, complete silence. But yet, over time, I realized that something was shifting. Which brings me to rule number 1. Your anxiety is your North Star. It tells you where to go. Your discomfort today is your confidence tomorrow. So expanding your comfort zone is your fastest growth lever. But that raises a harder question. If anxiety is my North Star, how many times do I have to follow it before it actually works? And that's what mistake 2 taught me. You do not post. So clarity and success does not come from planning. It comes from publishing. Each repetition will make you better. And over time, repetition builds not just skill, but clarity about yourself. And then quality as a consequence. And let me share a quick story. It took me a full year to learn this. I started on X, but only weird bots followed me. Then I moved to LinkedIn. I felt like a corporate clown, fake, boring, cringy, invisible. And on short form, I put hours into videos that got ignored. Every platform felt like a failure. And for a year, I was invisible. But each failed post added a layer of clarity, of structure, of flow, and timing. And finally, I landed on YouTube. And that's when it clicked. Because it, for some reason, did not feel foreign. I realized it's just presentations on steroids. And this is something I'd been doing for 20 years, which sums it up in rule number 2. 100 bad posts always beat 0 perfect posts. So I would rather post 100 cringe things than sit on one draft forever. And each repetition makes me 1% sharper, and quantity creates clarity. And once I got clarity about myself, customers pulled to me instead of me pushing to them. But here's the thing, even once I found my platform, I realized that most founders still won't win. And mistake 3 explains why. Let's go. You delegate social media. In B2B and also B2C, almost no entrepreneurs running their companies are really active on social media. And yet, social media has become business media. There are 5 billion people on social. All your customers are there. B2C, B2B, it doesn't matter. It's no longer kids messing around. It's where real companies build demand and win customers and build billion-dollar businesses. Let me share a quick story. When I started sharing openly layoffs, pivots, mistakes, I expected criticism. But what shocked me wasn't the criticism. It was that there was not much content like that around. No one else was telling these stories. Creators were not operators. And operators were not creating. The founders were silent. There's a ton of demand for exactly that content, but almost no supply. No one does it. So by showing up, even imperfectly, I stood out. Not because I was better, but because almost no one else was even playing. Which brings us to rule number 3. The bar is lower than you think. There's almost no supply of founder-driven B2B content, and the demand is massive. People want to learn from real operators, but most founders are not even in the arena. So just being in the arena sets me apart. That's when I realized the thing I thought would kill me, my age, wasn't at all a disadvantage. So, which brings us to mistake number 4. You believe you're too old for this. You can grind like a 20-year-old, but you don't have to. I can't grind like a 20-year-old anymore. I have family, I have a ton of obligations, and I don't have to, and I don't want to. That's fine. But my advantage is perspective, trust, and leverage. So age is actually not a disadvantage, it's an advantage. Let me explain. So I saw a group of founders, 20-year-olds, sleeping on office floors, coding non-stop to get that company growing. But that will never be me again. And at first I thought that this meant I could not compete anymore. But then I saw the truth. I had something that they did not. Decades of boardrooms, fundraising, crisis, team building, pattern recognition, and trust with customers who hold budgets. And that is leverage, the kind no 20-year-old can fake. Which brings us to rule number 4. Your age does not matter. You do not need to put in the hours. You have leverage to win. Experience creates trust so much faster than hustle. And your age does not matter. If at all, it's an advantage. But even with leverage, I was missing one last piece. The thing that finally unlocked business media as a true growth engine. Which brings us to mistake number 5. You start from scratch. Listen, you don't need to become someone else. You already have the skills. You just need to reframe them for this medium. Let me share a quick story. For 20 years, I gave high-stakes presentations, slides, stories, call to actions. And I told myself I could never do long-form YouTube. That's for kids. But then it hit me. This is not reinvention and starting from scratch. It's just reframing. Because YouTube is just a presentation on steroids. And I already knew how to do this. My first slide is a YouTube thumbnail and title. And what I say is my YouTube script. And my action items are the call to action in the end. And boom, I got the first customers. So the moment I reframed, creating content became natural to me. Which brings us to rule number 5, screw reinvention. Just reframe. Because reframing shortcuts reinvention. And presentations are just long-form YouTube videos. So at any age, you can build the $100 million playbook without investors. So here's the playbook that lets you compete with 20-year-olds if you're older than 30. Number 1, anxiety is your North Star. Number 2, 100 bad posts beats 0 perfect posts. Number 3, the bar is lower than you think. Number 4, your age doesn't matter. And number 5, screw reinvention, just reframe. And that's how I went from 1.5 million burn to 7-figure profit. From shame to conviction, from anxiety to business growth. And here's my challenge to you. Find your biggest anxiety, post anyway, do 100 posts and journal publicly. So when you're ready to systemize, watch my next video on AI-powered content engines. In that video, I will share my system that finally closed the loop for me, turning posts into revenue. So don't miss it. And also, if you want to work with me, check the links in the description.